Hey everybody, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Do me a favor before we get started. And if you hit that like button, if you're not a subscriber, and if you do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you will not miss the episode. So, how is everybody? First of all. All right, so we're going to talk about how to buy rental property even when you are broke. All right, so the important thing when it comes to real estate is that you know that you can do this even when you're broke. All right. So some people would like to have you believe that you can't do it because you don't have any money, right? And then that way that would keep you out and it's more for them. So that's not the case. You can buy rental property even when you're broke. And we're going to go over some of the strategies here. All right. So I'm going to go over it briefly. And then if you would like more in-depth information, then join the list and that will be below. That is the free newsletter. All right. So one strategy, the Burr method. So you are familiar with that if you listen to podcasts. So how many of you watching me have you already heard of the Burr method and you already know what it is? If so, chime in and let me know that you already know what the Burr method is. And then I'm just going to um, go over it real quick. And like I said before, if you want more detailed information, then join the free newsletter. All right. So how many of you already know what the Burr method is? Chime in, chime in. All right. So this is the buy, rehab, refinance, and repeat. All right. So essentially you are buying the property. You're going to fix it up. You're going to go back to the bank and refinance it. And then you're going to repeat. So essentially you're using the same money. And so if you would like more detailed information on that, join the newsletter. But that's one strategy that you can use if you are broke and you're trying to figure out, so how am I going to build a portfolio when I am struggling financially? So this is one of the strategies that broke people use to buy property. And I emphasize the word broke. So this is one of the ways that if you are interested in going from broke to unbroke, if that's even a word. So some people are not even interested in that. All right. Some people are content with staying where they are, and that's for a variety of different reasons. Maybe you don't believe that you can, um, maybe you don't have the belief, or more than likely, is you don't have the exposure because all of this is about exposure, what you're exposed to. All right. So the Burr method, that is one strategy. Okay, another strategy is house hacking. And house hacking, you're going to buy. So when you're ready to buy a property, you're going to buy a multifamily, right? So ordinarily we think about when you think about buying property, you think about buying your dream home, right? You want your dream home, especially if you're um older up in age, or if you have a family, you don't want to live next to somebody else. So a multifamily, a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex. So you can get into that property with 3.5% with the FHA loan. That's 3.5% you can get in. VA loan, you can get in with 0%. You don't even have to pay a down payment at all if you are a veteran. So if you have served in the military of any sort, you don't even have to pay a down payment. So that's the VA loan. USDA loan. This is 0% down. This is going to be for your rural areas. And you can kind of Google the areas to see if they would apply as it pertains to a USDA loan. All right. So these loans are out here making low and no down payments accessible. USDA loan, that's also 0%. All right. So getting into a property with no down payment, that's a USDA if you're interested in rural areas, VA if you're a veteran of any sort, and then FHA loan, 3.5%. So getting into a multifamily, live there, have all the other people paying rent, and you only have to stay there a year. If you want to move out, you can move out in a year and repeat. So some people are doing that strategy. All right, so that is the house hack strategy. Next, we have seller financing. So basically, seller financing, you are finding people that are willing to sell the house to you through seller financing. And usually you're going to find those people by writing letters and sending out mass letters. Um, you can also find them on Zillow if you, under the search seller financing, you can find some property that way. But most people find it through sending out mass letters. And there's different software systems out here that will tell you if a house is paid off or not. Because usually the people that are doing seller financing, their house is paid off and they're just interested in getting that monthly money coming in. All right. They're doing seller financing to help you, but they're also interested in that money coming in every month. And then they're interested in the tax benefits that they would get from that. So some people are familiar with seller financing, other people are not. So you'd explain to them the tax benefits that they're getting and then the monthly payment that they're getting. That's what they're interested in. So this is a way to avoid going to the bank and getting getting denied for a loan from the bank, and you just go straight to the owner and ask to do seller financing. So that's a way to avoid the whole banking system. And then everything is a negotiation between you and the owner. You're negotiating how much you're paying the owner per month. You're negotiating the down payment. You're negotiating um, interest rate. Everything is a negotiable when it comes to seller financing. So with seller financing, that is another strategy. And that depends on if you want to focus in on that strategy or not, because it is a lot of work. So do you want to do the work or not? All right. So that is the seller financing strategy. All right. Another strategy, finding a partner. So some people have partners out here. They're not out here solo trying to figure it out, trying to do it all by themselves. So some people have partners. And that is a way that you can buy real estate if you are broke. So you're coming with the deal. You're coming with the property management, the tenants. So essentially, you're not coming with the money, but you're coming with all the work. All right. So you found the deal, you found the property manager, um, and the property manager can actually find the tenants. All right. So they're coming with a down payment. All right. So that is another strategy, is a partner. And that's for people that have support. All right. Another strategy would be wholesaling. So some people choose that strategy of wholesaling. All right. All right. Another strategy is the DSCR loan. DSCR loan, debt service coverage ratio loan. So this loan is good if you're broke. because they are looking at the property. They're looking at how much income the property will make instead of looking at you as a person and looking at your financial situation. Instead of looking at you and your financial situation, they're looking at the property and how much property can this generate. So it's a lot of less red tape than going to the bank, and it's easier loan than going to the bank. So the bank is going to use a fine tooth comb to figure out how to not give you a loan. Whereas if you go to the DSCR loan route, they're going to make it easier for you to get a loan. Now the caveat to that is that the interest rate is going to be a little bit higher. All right. So with the DSCR loan, you don't have to have a job. All right. So that's different, isn't it? So that is another strategy. That is the DSCR loan. And they're going to make it easier for you to get a loan as opposed to the bank, who is going to do everything they can to deny you. All right. Let's see. Lastly, is a different strategy is looking at distressed properties. So this is going to take education, and it also takes caution if you choose this strategy. So by distressed properties, you are looking for foreclosures, looking for auctions, tax liens, looking for abandoned homes. So this is a strategy that some people choose, and it does require education, like I said, and it does require caution. All right. So these are the ways that you can buy rental property even if you're broke. All right. Just to recap: BRRRR strategy, house hack strategy, seller financing strategy, partner strategy, wholesaling strategy, GSCR strategy, and distressed property strategy. So pick one or two and focus in on it. And let's do this. All right. So which one or two have you picked? See, a lot of people watching me, you already did this, right? You already been there and done it. So that's you. What strategy did you pick? And if you're just getting started, and that's you, you're just getting started, which strategy piques your interests? Which one sounds like something that you can handle if you are new into this? Which strategy you're going to use? And then maybe if you are in the middle between all of this, out of the different strategies, pick one or two. And which strategy are you going to use? So put that in the comments. So the comments, let's see, I got a comment here. It say, what's the best areas in Houston to do this? Okay. So what I'm going to tell you is join the free newsletter. So I do appreciate all of these. I appreciate the one comment. As you chime in, comment, because that helps the channel. All right. So join the free newsletter. That's where the details are. All right. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Tune in. I will be bringing people on a show. You'll be seeing people that invest in real estate and people that have different kinds of businesses. because real estate by itself is not enough. You really have to have a combo of business and real estate together. And I would even say get into the stock market if you're not already in there. All right. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you for your participation, the person that commented, and check out the free newsletter. All right. I will see you on the next video.